Parents who have had their children be bullies, or reported to have been mistreating their classmate. How did you find out? And how did it make you feel? What happened after? I had a problem with my daughter beating up kids in preschool, of all things. I guess it can happen at any age. We had some major changes at home at the time, and she was acting out. The teachers brought it to my attention, and it was handled right away. Thankfully, this was years ago, and we haven't had problems since. I will tell you that I was strangely grateful my daughter was the bully and not the victim, but probably for a different reason than you would expect. Because she was the bully, I could correct the issue. I can't control someone else's kid when I'm not around. I never really thought of it that way, but you're right. It's much easier to address a problem behavior in your own child than someone else's, especially at such a young age. My eldest daughter, a few years ago, she was 9, decided to hang around with the wrong crowd. After a week or so, her mother and I got a call to come in for a chat, and we learned that she'd been joining in the bullying of another girl in the same class and how the other girl had ended up breaking down in tears at the thought of going to school. When we got her home that afternoon, my daughter and I had a brief discussion about respect and morality. I asked her if she'd enjoy receiving the same treatment she'd been giving, elaborating somewhat on the details. After crying herself to sleep that night, she woke up early and spent 2 hours making an apology card. That was the last time we had a call about her and bullying, until she kicked her little brother's bully in the head a year later. She got to choose what we had for dinner that night. I worked at a children's mental health clinic for over a year. We got lots of bullies, but one girl told us that her mom makes her bully other kids. We talked to mom, and she claimed that if her daughter was hurting kids first, then she wouldn't get bullied herself. About a week later, the mom vanished, running away from police for drugs or murder or something crazy, and the daughters went to foster care. No more bullying problems after that. My niece recently got in huge trouble when it was discovered she was bullying a first grader. She's in the 5th grade, but it's not like it matters. The school called one day and told my brother and his fiancée. When my brother found out, he was really disappointed in her since she's been bullied. He's been bullied, and it's something they bonded over and talked about a year or so ago. She was apathetic to the whole thing, which really made my brother angry, so she's grounded for the next while. She immediately started crying, wailing, throwing a temper tantrum, you name it. That's a power thing. She wouldn't bully someone older, but younger kids are easy targets for her feelings. She obviously has something going on that's bothering her big time. This is my unprofessional mama opinion. A timely question. Last week, during the first puck drop of a home hockey game, my son, the backup goalie, threw down another teammate on his bench. That teammate wasn't dressed in hockey gear because he was out with an injury. My son punched him in the helmet 3 times. It looked brutal. He was viewed as the perpetrator. Upon further investigation, though, the authorities at the school discovered my son had been bullied by this kid for years. My son beat his bully down like a badass. Not that I condone what he did. He got suspended, and I backed the school's decision 100%. However, I did object to the label that my son was the bully. The school has now punished the other kid for bullying, too. I'm so sad this has happened. But I'm also pretty cool with the fact that I don't think anyone is going to mess with my son again. Good to see that the parents here are mostly proactive about correcting bullying. Not a parent, but a teacher. There's a 6th grader in our school who is always in trouble for hurting kids, even those much younger, destroying school property and general disrespect, e.g. I witnessed him yelling at the admin of the school, "A-holes! You're all a-holes!" in front of the some little kids I handle. Naturally, we would see his mom in the principal's office a lot. Instead of acknowledging that maybe her kid is in the wrong, his mom would side with the kid, blame the other children, and question the credentials of the teachers handling her son's incidents. Little wonder his behavior never gets corrected. We suspect the child has mental health issues, but the denial is strong in the mother. Parents refusing to recognize that their children might have mental health issues gets under my skin so bad. My girlfriend's friend's son seems to have some development problems. The mother seems to know something is going on, as he's leagues behind his younger stepsister, and he won't always respond when spoken to, and when he does speak, it's baby babble. It's either his hearing is poor and he's simply unable to hear, or he has a developmental issue she won't budge on. He'll grow out of it. Girls grow faster than boys. My teenage boys were driving past an apartment complex yelling at kids. They were being dicks. I would not have known if someone hadn't posted about it in the town's Facebook page. I privately messaged the mom if the kid they were yelling at. I then drive them to the apartment complex and made them apologize to the kid, in front of his parents and grandmother. They were unable to go to town without adult supervision for a few weeks. I was not amused. Recently I got a call from my daughter's teacher. She is 9 years old in the 4th grade. Apparently her and another girl drew a picture of one of their classmates, who was bragging to them earlier that day about not wearing a bra. They drew a picture of this girl with boobies, and put things like, letting it all hang out, and, just want to show it all. I was so very disappointed in my daughter. She is usually the most kind-hearted kid I know, and I couldn't believe she participated in such a thing. When she got home, my boyfriend and I explained to her about sexual harassment, and that if she did anything remotely close to that when she was older she could be arrested, fined or fired if it was at a job. I also asked her if this girl who she drew pictures of was her friend. When she said yes, I said, well, do you think her mom will want to let her come over and play with you after you drew pictures of her like that? Shamefully she said no, that she wouldn't blame her for not wanting to let her. My daughter took being grounded like a champ. We let her do nothing but read for the next week, which we almost considered not letting her do since she loves to read, but we find reading to be important and didn't want to take that away. Then she wrote me a letter explaining what she learned and how she felt about what she did, as well as the little girl a letter telling her how sorry she was and how, if you don't want to be my friend I understand, but I am truly sorry. I'd say lesson learned. At first I thought she was upset cause she knew I'd be pissed and she would be in trouble, but at the end of it I think she realized that it was not okay at all what she did. I love to read too, and when my mom grounded me, she grounded me from everything but reading. She said she couldn't bear to discourage my love of reading even as a punishment. My mom grounded me from reading aside from the school required 20 minutes a night. I wasn't sleeping and was instead of reading by flashlight at night, and was reading underneath my desk instead of listening to my lessons. In retaliation I made sure that I read everything I could out loud for a week, grocery store labels, billboards, cooking directions, etc. I never got grounded from reading again. We were looking out of the window one day when we saw our 2 girls with the neighbor. One was standing with the neighbor distracting her, while the other sneaked round the back and jumped her. We felt bad for the neighbor that our 2 were bullying her, but also proud that ours were working together and getting along. We decided not to punish ours and give them some fish bits instead as a treat. Cats are arseholes and there's nothing you can really do about it. Not my kid or relative by my then boyfriend's niece. I'm still close to the family, so I still hear issues. Basically, parents went through a nasty divorce. Mom, who worked in the school system, wasn't really paying attention to the kids, twins, and was really using them more as a show-off to make it look like she was an awesome parent in social media. The elder of the twins, she was 13 at the time, started to act out. Claimed she was being bullied, developed an eating disorder which the parents denied until Doc says so. She pretty much grew up to be like that Cash Me on the Outside girl from Dr. Phil. Girl loved the spotlight, she played victim a lot even though some were true. She tried to hit on one of popular gal's boyfriend and got some nasty repercussions from that. She did her own cyberbullying of other PPL. Worse, she was a bully to her own family and grandparents. At 15 she tried to hit her grandma. She was sent to a facility, diagnosed with bipolar, and some other weird shit. No longer welcome to grandparents' house until she's stable. Sadly her parents still neglect her, and I doubt she will change anytime soon. Not a parent, but I found out late in life that I was a bully during grade school. I had no idea. Honest question, how did it make you feel when they told you that you used to be a bully? Absolutely crushed me at the time. I thought they were joking. I don't remember being a bully. I've always thought I was pretty nice. Maybe I was genuinely mean at school. Maybe I thought it made me look cool or something. I really have no idea. Luckily, I grew up a lot. I was humbled quite a bit as I got older. But yeah, hearing that I was a bully just felt like a punch in the gut. It made me question my identity. It made me wonder who I had hurt. I realized I might never get to apologize to any of those kids. And the adults, thinking back, what kind of kid was I? Did adults loathe my presence? I know my mom loved me, but I imagine a lot of teachers found me annoying and troublesome. Do they look at me now and see a person who takes pleasure in the pain of others? I just don't know. I don't think so, though. I received a call from another parent when my daughter was in 3rd grade. Apparently, she and a few other girls started a Mean Girls club. They hung out in the bathroom at lunch and refused to let this little girl join. They also refused to let other little girls use their bathroom. I called the other moms and let them know what our daughters were doing, and I also talked with my daughter about being a nice girl, who people like and respect, versus being a mean girl who people hate and make fun of behind her back. I then drove home the grossness of hanging out in a bathroom of all places. The club disbanded, and I made a point of inviting the little girl over quite often. The other moms did similar things, and she became part of the friend group. The thing is, my daughter wasn't really a mean girl, she's actually very sweet. I don't know why the girls decided to take over the bathroom, but I do know what movie they watched that they got their name from. I still tease her about her little club occasionally. Teacher here. 9 in 10 parents are bullies too, which is where the behavior comes from. Many times, they refuse to accept the truth about their kids, and the kids themselves could be unaware too. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.